Thomas Vick.
Why, Phil Heat gives you comfort with economy, and Griffin Oil Company can give you top performance and services as well, including prompt deliveries using two-way radio dispatch delivery trucks, burner service, and courteous, efficient attention to special needs. Griffin Oil Company. Call 735-4911. Griffin Oil Company.
Hi, Tom Carroll from the WGBR Morning Show. Make sure to join us tomorrow from 5 to 9. We'll tell you some of the things you can do during the Olympics, such as the grocery cart slalom, not to mention the mechanics creeper luge. We'll give you details on that. Olympic stunts to do at home, right there in your very own backyard. Details on that coming up between 5 and 9 tomorrow morning here on the WGBR Morning Show.
Well, that trough of low pressure that persisted along the eastern sections of the state yesterday has weakened and drifted south at this point. That's left high pressure in control today so far. We'll call it partly to mostly sunny this afternoon thanks to that, and seasonably mild, highs around 50 to 55. Tonight looks mostly clear and calm, lows overnight in the upper 20s to low 30s. Then on Tuesday, we'll start the day with lots of sunshine, a few more clouds coming in during the afternoon and evening. Highs tomorrow up a little to 53 to 58. I'm Mike Moss at the North Carolina News Network Weather Center.
I don't believe the first call up there. Should we take a rock seriously? Well, we can... Well, of course I'm laughing at that. I'm just you take a rock seriously. Maybe we ought to take something seriously. Apparently nobody's taking much of anything seriously anymore. This is a great soap opera for people. That's the explanation for the new poll numbers, but I'll get into that in a minute, folks. Welcome. It's the Rush Limbaugh program and the Excellence in Broadcasting Network back on the air for more broadcast excellence. I know that many of you have been waiting for bated breath all weekend to have it all explained to you. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. First, a summary, and then we'll get into some detail. Maybe a while here before we get to phone calls, maybe a half hour. Be patient, because the phone number is 800-282-2882. If you're calling in, you're getting in, be patient. We'll get to you. The war escalated over the weekend. Clinton lawyer David Kendall, guaranteeing weekend news coverage, lobbed a 15-page grenade into the camp of independent prosecutor Ken Starr at 4:30 Friday afternoon, guaranteeing that the whole news cycle for the weekend would be Starr and the leaks. The letter that Kendall sent Starr contains I've read it. It contains no evidence to back up his assertions. William Ginsburg, the president's other lawyer, Monica Lewinsky's lawyer, provided air support in this war analogy. He accused Starr of being abusive and unethical. On another front, the president's 1st Panzer Division Media Special Forces launched their own assault. Paul Begala and Senator Bob Torricelli accused Starr of being in cahoots with the right-wing conspiracy and then leveled charges that Starr is corrupt. Now, here's a little analysis and then the detail. If you think that this battle is between Clinton and Starr, you are wrong. Ken Starr is being treated like everybody else who has posed a threat to the president. Jennifer Flowers, Paula Jones, Monica Lewinsky, reputations all trashed and destroyed. Republicans in every major policy battle or oversight inquiry cast as villains. They want to starve children, poison the air and water. They want to end health care for the seasoned citizens of America. Talk radio, yours truly personally demonized As the man responsible for the Oklahoma City bombing, the president has constantly referred to me personally as someone who lies, makes things up, and doesn't get the facts right, claims America needs a truth detector because of me. White House staffers are even now calling George Stephanopoulos, the president's former advisor, a Judas. And I've been thinking about that. More on that in a moment, too. The reason they're calling him Judas is because he says the president should be forthcoming about his relationship with Monica Lewinsky. But Stephanopoulos had a bombshell on the Brinkley show. I'm sorry, the This Week with Sam and Cokie show yesterday. A literal bombshell, and I don't know how many of you people actually heard it because he said it while Sam Donaldson was talking at the same time. So, well, we got it for you, and we're going to let you hear it. We have to play it 2 or 3 times. You're going to hear it because it is a bombshell. And it opens up so many doors of curiosity to answers. And it's especially about who's leaking, who's got inside information, who's maybe trying to run a covert operation on the side. I mean, this is fascinating. But my point is this. It's not just the president and Starr. Anyone who attempts to honestly document, honestly report, or honestly oppose what Bill Clinton has done, be it in political matters or in the conduct of his private life, meets the same fate. The war is not between Bill Clinton and Ken Starr. That's just the latest battle. The real war is between Bill Clinton and the truth. Never, ever forget it. Bill Clinton and the truth. That's the war. That's the battle. Now, as you know, if you've been listening to this program regularly, this program does not think that this is a matter of sex. And in fact, the Los Angeles Times here backs me up on this. And it's amazing here. Look what the press is digging up. Headline, the LA Times this morning, Starr looks for a pattern in job offers by Clinton camp. As investigators worked round the clock last month, combing through tape recordings of Monica Lewinsky, they heard plenty of salacious talk about her supposed intimacy with the president. But what riveted career prosecutors, and by the way, do you know that most of the career prosecutors on Ken Starr's staff are Democrats? It has been learned. Most of the career prosecutors on Ken Starr's staff are Democrats. And what riveted these career prosecutors and prompted Starr to seek an extraordinary expansion of his jurisdiction was hearing that Vernon Jordan had arranged for Lewinsky to be offered a job. Well, we told you this from day one. It's always been about the subornation of perjury. It's always been about lying. It's always been about trying to cover up the president's private life by incorporating his public life advisors. It's not been about sex. It may be about sex as far as what's making people want to watch the latest developments on TV. It may be about sex in the eyes of the people who produce these never-ending 24-hour cable networks. It may be about sex to people who oppose Ken Starr. It may be about sex to anybody who wants to say, what is it, anybody's business? What's Ken Starr doing? Look at the president's private sex life. It has nothing to do with his private sex life. His sex life is his own business. It's not our business. Are we really going to prosecute a president for his sex life? No, it has never been about that. It's not about that on this program, and it's not about that at the Starr investigation, and it's not just me saying it now. Somebody like the LA Times has dug up here the truth. Constant digging has given them the truth on this. So I want you to, and the reason I make a big point out of this is that we're going to now get into the in-depth analysis, my friends, and I want you to understand that this is not about sex, it's not about the affair. That just happens to be the entree. That happens to be what it is that caused all these other things to occur, these other things which are being looked into. What is happening is a cancer on the presidency, and it's growing. And there is a huge cover-up underway. And it isn't about sex. It's about keeping the President of the United States out of jail. Now, as I said, nowhere in David Kendall's 15-page letter to Starr last Friday, where he alleges leaks by the prosecutors, does he provide one shred of evidence for his allegations. Zip, zero, nada, zilch. So Kendall wants the court to sanction an open-ended investigation of Starr's office for what purpose? not to find leaks, my friends, as I will soon explain in more detail, but rather to divert attention from allegations of criminality swirling around Clinton, and to divert Starr's resources from investigating Clinton to defending Starr's own office. Now, any judge who falls for this obvious ploy isn't worth the robe she's wearing. This is obviously nothing more than a diversionary tactic. In fact, one of the allegations, one of the numerous allegations, the 15-page letter that is claimed by Kendall to be a leak from Starr's office is not. It actually comes from this literary agent in New York, Lucianne Goldberg, who popped up over the weekend and said, hey, wait a minute, I'm the one that leaked that. The New York Post had the story over the weekend. I'm the one who leaked that. Starr's office didn't leak it. Try this. I'm watching the Today Show this morning, doing my duty. You know, I normally don't watch these morning shows. I know you do, and you expect it. And in the first segment, the first hour, shortly after 7 o'clock, Michael Isikoff, who's the lead investigative reporter for Newsweek, is on as a guest explaining the latest details. Of course, the latest details have to do with this Ashley Raines. We got another intern who said she heard the president's voice on Monica Lewinsky's phone machine on these tapes, and she's been subpoenaed to the grand jury, testified, so forth, and it's been... And Matt Lauer asked Michael Isikoff what the source of his leak was. Who told you this? How'd you find this out? This come from Starr's office. And Isikoff said, well, you know, Matt, you don't reveal your sources, and I don't reveal my sources, and and Lauer said, well, but that doesn't stop me from asking. And Isikoff, and when I saw this, I just was riveted. Isikoff finally relented and said, Matt, let me just tell you this. In the case of the Ashley Raines leak, I will tell you that it came from sources close to the president's defense. Michael Isikoff on the Today Show admitted that the leak that everybody's talking about today, that's front page headlines about Ashley Raines, came from sources close to the president's defense. Now you ask, why would they be leaking these things? Ah, my friends, you have forgotten the stratagem devised by one Lanny Davis, who was the former spear catcher for the Clinton administration for the past year, just recently resigned. And Lanny Davis devised a strategy to limit damage when they knew bad information was coming out. You may remember this. Lanny Davis' strategy was when they knew something was going to come out that was damaging to the president, they released it first. The White House, to limit the impact of it coming from somewhere else. Take the edge off it. And so Isikoff says, the leak here comes from sources close to the president's defense. That's Bob Bennett. That's David Kendall. That's Paul Begala. That's Chester James Carville. That's Mike McCall. Who knows who it is? Who knows what is meant by Isikoff when he says to the president's defense? It could be anybody. It could be the lawyers. It could be the White House war room. But it ain't Ken Starr. The thing you got to understand, all these leaks are undermining Starr's investigation, which is why the White House is leaking them, my friend. All of you think Starr wants these things leaked? He's not in a competition to nail Clinton in the press. He's not in a competition to embarrass the president in the press and cause him pressure in the press. Every one of these leaks undermines the investigation. It gives the press an idea what's coming. And it lets everybody in on what Starr's people are doing. It tells everybody where the direction is going, and then it allows the White House to righteously and sanctimoniously go on the Today Show and elsewhere and berate Starr for these lies and these leaks. Ann Lewis on Good Morning America today said the same thing. She said that this latest Ashley Raines leak is unconscionable. It shows that Starr's office is out of control. And we now know that Isikoff said the leak came from sources, that's a quote, sources close to the president's defense. The thing that bothers me about all this is we're spending all this time talking about the leaks. Anyway, leaks are not the story. The truth is the story. The leaks are working as a diversionary tactic. That's what Kendall's letter is all about. That's what these mindless twerp appearances on the Today Show and the Russert Show, which, by the way, did Russert handle Begala well, or did he? I mean, he kicked his butt, is exactly right. Didn't let him get away with the usual spin. But Begala's good. You got to admit that, too. But all this, it's not about the leaks. And what if the leaks are... nobody's denying the accuracy of these leaks either. That's another... Anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. The analysis, the in-depth analysis will continue. I've got to take a break now. Let's do that. We'll be back in just a second.
You're listening to the EIB Network.
You've heard me say on this program that Blanchard & Company is America's largest, most respected precious metals firm. Well, Blanchard's not a hard sell operation. They educate and inform over 100,000 clients around the world with an excellent newsletter, as well as special reports published by their highly acclaimed economic research unit. Blanchard's also the largest dealer of American Eagle bullion coins in the United States, including the new Platinum Eagle coin. If you want to know more about making American Eagles part of your personal investment strategy, then call the good people at Blanchard.
Platinum is the rarest and most valuable precious metal. It's 20 times as scarce as gold, and a new opportunity is developing in platinum right now. The Russians ceased all platinum exports in January, putting a squeeze on supplies. Call Blanchard at 1-800-285-5466 to take advantage of this opportunity. That's toll-free, 1-800-285-5466. 1-800-285-5466. Introducing the Starz Movie Channel theme song. Like the song says, Starz shows all movies too big to miss, with hits just on a pay-per-view like The Nutty Professor and Shine. Starz, it's what a movie channel should be. So call 1-800-758-5555 and say, I want to see Starz.
You've heard it before. Christ sells cars. Leaf, Chrysler, Plymouth, Jeep Eagle, Leaf, Dodge, Isuzu. Highway 70 west of Goldsboro. The Plymouth Breeze, only $13,795 or $205 a month. Leaf has the area's largest selection of program cars. A 97 Dodge Neon, only $89.95. A 97 Dodge Caravan, only $15,995. The area's largest selection of pre-owned cars and trucks, too. Leaf, Chrysler, Plymouth, Jeep Eagle, Leaf, Dodge, Isuzu. Highway 70 west of Goldsboro.
That's the mini Valentine specials at Sasser Jewelry. They've got a large selection of 10 and 14 karat gold chains, bracelets, and earrings from $8.95 per gram. Diamond anniversary bands, quarter carat total weight, $99. Double hearts gold sweetheart rings, only $19.95. Plus, come in this week only and register to win a Hugs and Kisses diamond tennis bracelet. Drawing is this Friday. Sasser Jewelry, open 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Saturday. Sasser Jewelry, the Little River Shopping Center, Highway 70 West, Goldsboro.
This rose and the
Listen to the WGBR Morning Show through Friday, February the 13th for your chance to win during the Countdown to Valentine's Day contest when you hear a snippet of this song, A Rose and a Baby Ruth.
This rose and the baby Ruth.
Then be the designated caller and you'll win a rose from Baskets and Blooms, 1205 Wayne Memorial Drive, a Baby Ruth candy bar, along with a certificate for a prize from one of the participating sponsors. You could win a 7-inch 5mm pearl bracelet from Sasser's Jewelry, a $25 gift certificate from Berkeley Mall, 5 tanning visits, and a bottle of tanning lotion from Dream Makers, and a $40 gift certificate from Family Shoe Store, just to name a few. Win a gift certificate for your Valentine during WGBR's Countdown to Valentine's Day contest. Weekday mornings on WGBR.
We're back, Rush Limbaugh and the EIB Network, 1-800-282-2882. All right, now, back to David Kendall and his diversionary tactic of the letter to Ken Starr and a threat to go to court today to try to get an investigation of Starr's investigation. There are, and I've talked to some lawyers this morning. I've talked to some constitutional lawyers and some people that have worked with ICs before, independent counsels before, and who have a fairly good understanding of all this. And the consensus is that there are serious questions about whether Kendall even has standing to file this complaint. And here's why. Remember that Clinton has not given any testimony to the grand jury. Therefore, Clinton's testimony, there hadn't been any, hasn't been leaked because it couldn't have been leaked. There hasn't been any. So if Clinton's testimony wasn't leaked, what he's asking the court to investigate is the alleged leaks of other parties' testimony. And it is doubtful that Clinton has standing to do this, which is why it appears that Kendall is seeking help from Ginsburg. And reports say that Ginsburg, who is Lewinsky's lawyer, may in fact join Kendall in court today. Now, one other point about the law. Under the Independent Counsel Act, the president can direct the Attorney General to fire the independent counsel for what is called good cause. Under the Constitution, all executive branch employees, including Ken Starr, work for the president and therefore can be fired by the president. Article 3 of the Constitution gives judges jurisdiction to hear actual cases or controversies. Judge may not give advisory opinions. Now, since Clinton has the power as president to fire Starr, there's no reason for Clinton to ask a federal court to investigate Starr's office for alleged leaks. In other words, there is no case or controversy requiring judicial review here. While it may be, and the whole reason for this, what this all boils down to is that Clinton knows that he can't politically fire Starr. It'd be just like the Saturday Night Massacre and it'd wake up the American people, and these 79%, 80% approval numbers would then plummet if Clinton fires Starr. No matter how negative Starr's numbers get, and by the way, those numbers are totally irrelevant, but no matter how negative they get, he still can't fire Starr politically. So what he's actually asking here is for the court to get rid of Starr, one way or the other. And the president, I don't think, and there are a lot of legal minds as well who agree that say the president just can't ask the court to do his political dirty work since he already has the power to do it himself. I mean, the mechanism to get rid of Starr is there. And to ask the court to go in and do it to spare Clinton the political problem involved. Gutless again, it's absolute gutless. If the guy's doing all this, if the guy's really leaking all this stuff, if the guy is destroying it, get rid of him. Handle the political aspects of it. You can do it, Mr. President. You're a Svengali with the American people. You can handle that. Doesn't want to deal with it. Now, the source of these leaks. Again, let me remind you, Michael Isikoff on the Today Show today was asked by Matt Lauer, little Tom Brokaw lingo there, if Ken Starr was the source of the information about Ashley Raines having heard Clinton's voice on Monica Lewinsky's phone machine. And Isikoff ultimately said, no, it wasn't Starr. If it'll help, Matt, this information came from sources close to the president's defense. Which I said earlier could be anybody from David Kendall, could be Bob Bennett, could be Paul Begala, could be whoever. Anybody, the president's defense constitutes a whole lot. It could be John Conyers, it could be any number of people. Don't assume that when Isikoff says the president's defense, it means necessarily the legal defense. It could be anybody, but the point is that he confirmed that Starr did not let this leak go. Starr doesn't want these leaks. These leaks are hurting his investigation. They're causing an unneeded, unwanted diversion. Also, how many of you did not see the Saturday Washington Post? Probably 99% of you didn't. Well, I did because I'm the host. I read the Saturday Washington Post, and what a story there was in it. It's a real long article. But this story, Saturday in the Washington Post, get this, revealed that the White House is being debriefed by and coordinating with the defense lawyers for all of the grand jury witnesses. So the White House knows everything that's being said in the grand jury testimony, so they can be the source of all of these leaks. Betty Curry's lawyer is telling the White House lawyers what's being said in there. The White House is being debriefed by and coordinating with the defense lawyers for all the grand jury witnesses. And it's no wonder, is it, all these witnesses come out and say the same thing off the same script, as pointed out to you last week by us. Now, why do you suppose the White House is doing this? To learn the truth? Of course not. They're doing this to help the president and his lawyers prepare Clinton's defense and trash Starr. They're trying to tell the president what it is he's going to need to lie about.
Ricola. Pleasant-tasting Ricola, nature's way of calming cough and soothing sore throats around the world for over 70 years. Ricola is the original herb cough drop from Switzerland, a unique blend of 10 organically grown alpine herbs and other natural ingredients. Ricola, natural, effective cough and sore throat relief. Ricola. Also available in sugar-free natural herb throat lozenges. Ricola. Use Ricola only as directed.
This is WGBR News, Goldsboro's very own.
It's time for a look at local news. I'm Thomas Vick on 1150 WGBR. More efforts to curb teen smoking. Governor Jim Hunt has signed an executive order that directs the Division of Alcohol Law Enforcement, along with the Department of Crime Control and Public Safety, to lead the state's efforts to curb tobacco use by teenagers. In the executive order, Hunt directed ALE to develop a comprehensive approach that focuses on both education and enforcement. They will coordinate with local and state agencies to educate businesses and teenagers about the law by expanding existing education programs and enforcement efforts. Enforcement officers will focus on establishments that have a history of selling tobacco to minors. The executive order means that ALE will now be eligible for federal funds to help fight teen smoking. Authorities have arrested a teenager in connection with the robbery of a pizza delivery man. 18-year-old Damara Whirl of Mobile Circle has been charged with felonious attempted armed robbery after allegedly holding up a pizza delivery man, 21-year-old Jason Hart, in the 400 block of North Carnegie Street. Hart told authorities 3 black men approached him with baseball bats and demanded money. Hart was not injured. Deputies are still searching for the remaining 2 suspects. The chairman of the State Board of Education, Phil Kirk, will be in Goldsboro this week. He will visit 3 schools tomorrow and meet with school board members and administrators. The meeting with school officials begins tomorrow morning at 8:30 in the boardroom on Royal Avenue. After the meeting, Kirk will visit North Drive Elementary, Norwayne Middle, and Belfast Alternative Schools. Following his school visits, Kirk will speak Wednesday at the Wayne County Chamber of Commerce annual meeting at Lane Tree Golf Club. The Wayne County Economic Development Commission has voted to go industry hunting in Japan. Local officials say they want to meet with prospective companies if appointments can be arranged. The trips will be paid for with funds from the Goldsboro Committee of 100 instead of tax money. 11 companies have been called so far to arrange appointments, but no final arrangements have been made. Wayne County Social Service officials say over $5 million in absent parent money has been collected in Wayne County since the inception of the Most Wanted poster. Absent parents are those who initially can't be found but later are, and forced to adhere to warrants and existing court orders for child support payments. That's a look at local news. I'm Thomas Vick on 1150 WGBR.
Well, a little upper-level disturbance that moved by just south of the area earlier today is headed off to the southeast now. That's going to leave us with partly to mostly sunny skies this afternoon. We'll be seasonably mild with light winds from the northeast. Look for a high around 50 to 55. Tonight, mostly clear, calm, and chilly. We'll have lows overnight in the upper 20s to low 30s. Then on Tuesday, we'll start the day with sunshine through about lunchtime or so. After that, a few more clouds streaming in from the west. We'll have highs tomorrow around 53 to 58. I'm Mike Moss at the North Carolina News Network Weather Center.
Let's talk business, weeknight 7 till 10 with Bruce Williams. Hear what everybody's talking about on 1150 WGBR.
We are back. It's El Rushbo, Surfing Humanity. We'll get to the phones here in just a moment. Plus, I'll let you play what I think is a bombshell from Stephanopoulos that occurred yesterday on This Week with Sam and Cokie. But what you folks need to understand is that the purpose of criminal defense lawyers like David Kendall and Uncle Bob is not to seek the truth. They're not about the truth. The truth, in fact, is what is devastating here. They've got a guilty client, and that's the only reason the client, Bill Clinton, isn't speaking. And any lawyer will tell you when you're guilty, you don't say a word. This is standard. And we who are angry that the president won't respond should understand that in all legal matters, the guilty don't say beans. They're not looking for the truth. It is not their job to protect the office of the presidency. It's not their job to stop leaks. Their only job is to represent their client and keep him out of jail. That is their ethical and legal obligation under lawyers' rules of professional conduct, and that's what's going on. Everything here, as I stated about a half hour ago, is oriented toward keeping their client out of jail. One final point about leaks. Am I the only person in America sick and tired of the president's capos like Paul the Bull Begala and Chester James the Chin Carville going on TV? And they go on, and Begala did this yesterday. He admits that he